What does a vegan mathematician eat? Roots, whole numbers, natural logs, tree diagrams, and stem and leaf plots. And today we'll be talking about stem and leaf plots as well as time series plots. This is an excellent method to display quantitative, not categorical, but quantitative data that has the following characteristics. For stem and leaf, I love to use them to display grades. It's a great way where you can see the data separated out by the tens place. You want your range to be at least 5 groups. Now, if I only had, say, scores from the 70s to hundreds, I could actually do what's called a split leaf and break it up into 6 groups that way. It has the advantage that you can look at the plot and you can determine each individual value in the data set. So how to make them. First of all, they're made from the leading digits for the data points that share those digits. So here on the 10, the leading digit would be a 1, a 5, an 8, a 3, a 9. Those are the leading digits. For 100, the leading digits, I'm going to use 10. So I'm using everything from the tens place on, okay? And I'm going to put those on the left side of the column. So there they are, starting from the lowest, going to the highest. I can split stems, so if I had, again, just say B's and A's, I could have 2 sets of 8s, one for the lower 80s and one for the higher 80s, and same thing for the 90s. So the leaf is now the other part of the grade. So the leaf for this one is 0. For that one, it's 0. For this one, it's 5, 0, and 5. So those are the trailing digit or digits for each of the data points, usually the ones place. Now you should list them in order. So if I was doing the 80s, let's see, or what do I have here? I have 90s. Do I have any 90s? Well, we'll see what we got here. See how I have that 0 there in front of the other 5s? Or the 50s, how I have this 55 in the middle of the group. I put that at the end, so I have 50, 50, 50, and 55. All right. Here you have 85, 85, 90, 95, 95, 95. You don't need commas between the leaves or spaces for that matter. It's also good to have a key to interpret the stem and leaves. So the stem is the tens place, the leaf is the ones place, and here we show you that 9/5 is a 95. Now you can also use them to compare two groups. Here I have Class A and Class B. So the center column is the stem. So I'm going to share that stem between both classes. The left column is for the first set of data, however you want it, and the right is for the second. Be sure to include group labels so that you know this side is Class A and that side is Class B. So here you can take a look at it, and if these were quiz grades for 2 classes, and I believe these are actual quiz grades, which class did better? Well, it looks like Class A did better than Class B. Now, time series is another way to look at quantitative data. So we look at the behavior of a measured variable over time. The horizontal scale is used for time, and the vertical scale is used for the variable being measured. And here are some actual steps that I did in 2017. So these are off of my Fitbit. And January, I had 271,000. February, you see 268. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and graph these over the course of the year by putting the months on the horizontal axis. Now, to make my life easier, I'm just going to say thousands of steps, all right? And my lowest value looks like it's 224,000, and my highest is 908. So I want to make sure I put values so I can include the lowest and the highest. So there's 200, 400, and there you go. Then I'll basically go ahead and put a dot down for each one of these. It's roughly estimated, it's not exactly right. And then connect them with line segments. So the advantage of a time series graph, if you just had these all lumped together and you saw these two values, you'd say, what's going on with those? And you wouldn't really have an idea. But now that you know these are my steps and the fact that I'm a teacher, you have an idea that what's going on is that this is the summer. And while I do get a hefty number of steps during the school year, About every other summer, I like to go hiking a couple hundred miles across Europe, and that really bumps up the count. So normally I total about 250,000 steps, maybe a little less. And then when, again, about every other summer, you're going to see a huge spike in the number of my steps.